One of the most common questions we get about decks is, can we just replace the boards or do we need to replace the whole deck? And the honest, but actually really annoying answer is, it depends on what's underneath the deck, which is why in this video, we'll talk about your joists, your ledger, your posts, your footings, the cost, and how all those go into the decision making. Redecking, which is removing the surface boards and installing new ones on your existing frame, can be a great option if the framing is solid, the posts are stable, and the ledger is properly attached, and everything is just structurally sound in general. If that's not your situation, that's when we literally have to go deeper and inspect what's underneath the deck. The first thing we look at are your joists. Are they rotting? Are they spaced correctly for modern composite materials? You know, older decks were often built with wider joist spacings that don't meet current standards for certain decking products. If the framing isn't compatible, redecking can still create performance issues later on, which means you'll be going through this whole process again, just less happy. Next, we inspect the ledger, which is the connection point between your deck and your home. If flashing, which is the metal part that goes between your house and your deck, wasn't installed correctly, or the moisture has already got behind the boards, that can compromise the integrity of the entire structure. In that case, replacing boards will only give you an aesthetic fix, which is fine for some people, but the deck itself is compromised and will continue to warp, lean, and won't make your life any easier. Posts and footings are the last on our list, and if they're shifting, undersized, or deteriorating, putting new decking on top only delays a larger problem. Then there's the design aspect, because sometimes you'll want to redeck, but you also want to change the layout and expand the footprint or add stairs, incorporate a patio cover, all that. And at that point, the scope is naturally going to shift closer to a full rebuild. With all that being said, cost is sometimes the bottom line for people. If we start the process and the framing needs significant reinforcement to actually support the redecking, the price difference between upgrading the structure and building just a new one can shrink quickly. In those cases, starting fresh often makes the most sense long-term. That's if you're actually looking for a long-term solution. Some people are just wanting a quick fix. We don't automatically recommend full replacements because that would just be dishonest of us, because there are plenty of decks that can be successfully redecked and perform for years. But the right answer depends on what's happening beneath the surface. This is all to say that our initial consultation, whether that's through a video or us coming out to your home, will be the best way to walk and talk through your thoughts and ideas. So at the end of the day, if you're unsure whether your deck is a candidate for redecking or if a full rebuild makes the most sense, we're happy to evaluate it and give you a straightforward assessment. Because understanding the condition of the structure is the first step towards making the right decision.